got a great show for you tonight. Come on in, hang out with me. Marty Van Wagner, wait till you see who I got on tonight, man. I got a dude that's running at about 225 referrals. He's pacing it this year. Nina, did you hear that? I know you're cheering on Chris, as we all are. I'm going to bring him on, but before I do, I want to first of all just tell you who this guy is. He was actually my friend Peter Mahoney, head shop in Nova Scotia. I got a bunch of calls from his leadership team and said, Michael Cole, we got somebody that you need to take a peek at. And that somebody is Chris Carr. He works at head shop in Fredericton, Canada. Did I get that right, Mr. C? And let me just give you an overview before I bring, because I think he's unique. This guy is extraordinary. Nina, you're going to love this. First of all, he's only 22 years old. I mean, come on! And senior designer. He's actually just into his second full year at the location in Fredericton. He did a year before that in another location for head shop, but moved and basically had to start over. In Canada, they don't call it W-2, they call him T-Force. He's trending 75,000 this year in his first full year. He's already in, Mahoney has this thing called President Club, and his average ticket, Chris's average ticket's running about $110. Rebooks 90%, but here's the biggie. Referrals, 225 training. I think that's a record. That's why I wanted him on tonight, to have a conversation with you guys about what he's doing to make that big boom boom. He's rebooking 90%. Now, he works some special hours. I mean, Peter Mahoney's got this thing that he has people on in his leadership, works a lot of nights and some weekends, but hey, 22, 75 grand, I don't know. Whatever he's enduring to do that, I think it's well worth it. So before we bring him up, I want to just give you a social media overview. He uses the iPhone 7 Plus because we're starting to get much, much more specific. In any given week, he's probably doing about 20, 22 guests a week. And he'll take, and he's taken pictures, photographs of 7 of those guests. Now, he's really, really meticulous of making sure that those guests are really down for specialized color. I mean, this guy is a Bali Lama to the nth power. I'm going to take you to his page in a second. And he takes about 5 pictures average on the 7 guests. So you do the math on that. It's about 35 pictures a week. He posts. He's just a perfectionist on steroids, this guy. And he posts about 5 to 7 times a week. On his guests, he's got about 660 guests on that, not guests, but he's got 660 influencers. And out of that 660, 200 of them are his clients. And I think, my lips to your ears, that's this guy's secret, Shannon, is that he's got the overwhelming majority of his clientele on his Instagram page as well as his Facebook page. And before I bring you, I actually wanted to take you to his page live because I've seen a lot of pages in my time. Now this is, I'm going to take you to his actual page. Where are you, Chris? Here you are, right here. And his work is nothing short of extraordinary. I mean, that is beautiful hair. $225, $250 tickets. I mean, I can scroll and scroll and scroll. Again, 22 years old and 225 referrals in the last 365 days. I think he's just warming up. I think he's making... So I'm gonna bring him up now, and I'm gonna see if I can bring him on my wide screen. It's gonna... All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get off of this screen so I can bring him on... I can bring him on my iPad. We're gonna FaceTime him in on Facebook Messenger. I've got my iPad here. I'm gonna see if I can get it first of all to show up on. Okay, so I got the iPad working. Keep your fingers crossed, gang. So far, so good. So now what I'm gonna do is go to my Messenger, and I'm going to dial him in and see what he can do. Keep your fingers crossed. Keep it crossed and see what we can do. Here he is. He's coming. He's coming. Give it up for Mr. Chris Carr. Hey, dude, did you hear me bragging on you?
A little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. It really went well. Well, listen, we've got about I don't know 10, 15 minutes, and I wanted I wanted the world to see what it's like to have an Instagrammer like yourself, and I thought maybe to get us warmed up. In a nutshell, how in the world at 22, what inspired you first of all to get into being a hairdresser and to work at Head Shop?
Well, growing up my whole life, I've always kind of been involved with hair. I've always been playing with hair, whether it was, with Barbies when I was a young age, I've always just been doing hair. So growing up, I always pictured myself doing that. So it kind of just was something that just happened.
And then you go to hair school. You buzzed your, and
Right.
I think you started hair school when you were still in high school, didn't you?
Well, I enrolled in hair school while I was still in high school. So I kind of knew right in grade 12 that that was the direction that I wanted to go. And I didn't know if I wanted to do the university route or if I wanted to do a trade. But in the end, I really was like, this is what I would love to do. And I was accepted right even before I graduated. So even when I was graduating, I knew what I was doing.
Nice. So this is a calling. This is a real, profound inspiration for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy. It's definitely a passion of mine. It's something that I look forward to doing, like going to work. So
And so you and I were talking on the phone, and you said to me that Head Shop was your very first career opportunity, and you on ramped and like landed on your feet and hit the ground running. Tell me about for starters, how did you get involved in the whole social media thing and the photography thing? Because I showed the world your work, and it's extraordinary.
well, thank you very much. I've always kind of been involved with photography. Anyone that knows me knows that I've always had a camera to hand. So it's always something that I've always been involved with as well. So again, with going with hair, the photography kind of just came natural with it. I've literally been taking pictures and as many pictures and trying to, advertise myself literally since the very beginning. Even in hair school, I was really adamant on adding those pictures. So it was literally something that followed me throughout my career.
So when you came on now, you and I, as I was kind of intaking you, you said to me in any given week, 20, 22 guests. How many of those guests would you actually do a set of pictures on?
Probably at least half, at least half to a little more than half. I really try to incorporate the picture regardless of what it is, even if it's just like a short, haircut or if it's a long, just like a long cut, or color, anything. I really just try to incorporate that. But I would say a lot of the times the pictures that are taken and posted are probably at least half of them for sure.
You got a lot of fans on tonight, man. I mean, I got people that I'm looking on my news feed now that are saying they knew you when you were a little kid and you'd always been in that, and you got your dog behind you. What's your dog's name?
This is Milo. He's definitely a little diva, so he's definitely making his appearance tonight. I tried to keep him away, but he definitely made his way to the camera. But his name is Milo. He's very happy right now, I think.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So you're saying it could be anywhere between 8 to 12 guests a week, and that you'll take a set of pictures, and you're pretty particular about the how much the ticket is of the guests that you're
Right.
taking pictures on. Where's that ticket live at?
I would say a standard price going based off what I do with my pictures. A lot of the times I'm doing a balayage or foils or blonde essentially, but a lot of the times typically it's about with 150 to 200, I'd say.
Right. So I mean, those are high triple digit ticket, Chris. And then
Yeah.
how many pictures would you take on a typical guest to get what you would need enough of so that you could begin selecting what you're going to do, who you're going to post?
I would say a standard photo shoot that I call it. I would say it takes about at least 5 to 10 pictures. Sometimes I have clients that I'm like, just a couple more. I want to make sure I'm getting the right one. I'm all up in there, taking the picture. It's definitely a little. I'm sure I look crazy doing it, but I love seeing the end result.
So in any given week, I mean, I just did the arithmetic. You could be taking 75 to 100 pictures a week.
Absolutely. My phone is just full of just hair. Like it's nothing else but hair.
So you
Absolutely.
not only got an iPhone Plus, but I'm sure you got maximum storage. Otherwise, you're going to be blowing up your damn phone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely had to make sure I had to get, a phone that was going to hold. And, a lot of times people ask, how does he make his picture so nice and, all this stuff. And really it comes down to photography. It's just, lighting, and it's a matter of positioning. And, all my clients know that I'm running my fingers through their hair. It's a whole process, really. It's not just like a snap and go. It's very specific.
All right, so now you've got, 50, 75, 100 pictures to choose from. How many actual times a week would you post your page? Because I took the audience to your page and showed, we just scrolled and scrolled. I mean, there's a lot of hair, beautiful hair on your page.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely try to add as many pictures as possible. I think when I first started, I was adding literally a picture every single day. Like, my boyfriend knew that when I came home from work, it was a matter of like putting my picture and like, adding it. It was solid, minutes and, putting pictures together and, putting my little name on it. It was a big deal for me. So when I first started out, I was adding a picture probably every single day and, sometimes 2 to 3 pictures a day. So it was an everyday thing. But I think now that I've kind of gradually started, getting more comfortable with it, I've kind of just done it in moderation now. I try to add as many pictures as possible, but I try to keep a flow going for sure.
All right,
But
so
I definitely I try to add as many pictures as possible.
so I mean, I'm saying, I'm like thinking to myself, okay, a picture a day, 5, 6 posts that you do, 50, 75 pictures a week, a dozen guests. I mean, you are in it. That photography has become as much of your art as hairdressing and coloring and design. And what I'm curious about is that there's there's a lot of people that are just, they're not where you're at. They're just like wading into the pool. And frankly, Chris, it's intimidating for them that they get overwhelmed. They're, first of all, I'm clumsy with my mobile device and I'm not sure about how to take the pictures and the lighting. And then I got to post something. I'm afraid I'm not going to get any likes and I'm going to feel, like a dork. Like, were those feelings that you had to work
Right.
through, and how'd you get through it?
I think it was just a matter of finding finding yourself and taking a picture. It's not, you can't be awkward doing it. You can't be, if you're awkward, your picture's going to be awkward. So for me, when I'm taking a picture, it's a matter of being happy, being excited, making that client feel like they're on the top of the world with their hair, and it's really interesting and it's amazing actually. I'll show them the picture and then they'll just be like, that's my hair. Like, they can't get over that it's their hair. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what it boils down to, is just kind of making that client happy. And I think once you find that, it just comes naturally.
And you've put your finger on something that I want you to talk a little bit more about. I got a sense as I kind of talked to you before tonight, and that you've brought now the camera, the mobile device, actually into the guest communication. It is now a very big part of the guest experience that you're giving people that you serve. And talk a little bit about that, because whether you post or not is immaterial. It's almost like your guest is getting this extraordinary gift with purchase when you take their picture.
Yeah, I think it kind of it's fun for the client to have that moment of feeling good about themselves. I think everybody deserves to feel good, and I think everybody deserves that. So when I'm doing that little photo shoot, I think just seeing how happy they are, and it just kind of makes everything worth it.
Now, one of the other things that I found on your stats is, out of you got a little bit over 600 followers, but 200 of them
Right.
are your guests, the people that you're serving. So what I'm curious about is, how many times do you take a picture of your guest and your guest gets curious and they look and they go, I want to see, and then how many of them go, can I have that?
Majority, like all of them, really. A lot of them will either want me to send the picture to them, or they want me to tag them like in the picture, and they just want to have that picture. I've had some clients that will make the picture that I've made them their profile picture, and like for me, that's amazing because it's like that's the best compliment in the world is when someone showcases your work. But just to be able to also promote me like that, it's an amazing kind of duo for both the client and myself. So I'm happy that they're happy and they make me so happy, and it's good.
So I want you to talk about those clients that want the picture and they upload it, and you tell them something that I think is key to you running at 225 referrals, which, by the way, I think is the best yet from all the interviews that I've done. And I want to make sure that in the interview, you tell our audience tonight what it is that you say to them, that if they post, I don't want to take the words out of your mouth, tell them that.
Well, I have this little thing with my clients that if they refer somebody in, or they post a picture of their hair, and they tag me in it, and that grabs one of their friends' attention and they come see me, I have like a little referral program. So I'll honor them with 25% off their entire service, and the guest that they've referred will also get 25% off. So it's kind of like me thanking you for sending that new client in. So that it's definitely helped me tremendously.
That's key. I want to make sure that the viewer gets this. So when you text them a picture and they upload it on their page, what you say to them is that
Right.
if they tag you, you follow up on the comments and you're saying, and by the way, if any of your friends come in as a result of you posting this, I'm going to demonstrate my gratitude by giving you a gift certificate. Am I getting that right?
Well, it's not so much a gift certificate. It's more so just kind of more like they'll know when they get the 25% off. So it's not like a gift certificate that I give them, but if they come and see me and they've said so and so has sent me to you, I will give both of them 25% off because it's awesome that he or she has sent them in to me.
See, I think that's...
But it's not like a gift card.
Right. Well, what I'm hearing you say is when they come in, it's on your radar and you make that expression in real time. So you're really...
Yes.
Your guests are saying, they're in essence using social media to be rainmakers for you. They are your influencers. And I think that's why you're
exactly.
why you're growing at like Mach 5 and running at 225 referrals a year. So this is extraordinary. Well, I'm coming to the back end of this, and just in a nutshell, there's a lot of people, Chris, that first of all, they're not 22, right? They're well into their 20s or their 30s or their 40s, and they're watching this and they're going, okay, how do I getting started? It's like, what's your last words for them? Is there something you can tell them to like give them inspiration and hope to go, you know what, you can do this? Like in a nutshell, what would your words be?
Well, I think a big thing is to have confidence, and I think a big thing is also to, be proud of your work and yourself, and, to never give up, and, all those things. But I think a big thing that's taken me through my career and that's kind of given me the lead was, I heard someone tell me, and it was a stylist at the same salon that I work at. Her name is Jessica, and she's amazing. And she kind of said something to me, and it just stuck with me, and it's, you have to be the CEO of your own chair. And, I think hearing that kind of like made me think, okay, like this is like what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it, and she really kind of put that in my mind. And I think that would be the biggest thing I could say would just be the CEO of your own chair. Your thing.
I'm going to call that the Chris Carr slogan. You are the CEO of your own chair. CEO of your own clientele. You ought to do a book on that, and you'd sell a lot of them, my friend. Listen, we're out of time. This has been a best yet interview. I really appreciate it that you came on. And is it Milo? Is that your dog's name?
Yes, he slept through the whole thing. I'm kind of proud. So
yeah, thanks, Milo. And say hi to all my buds at Head Shop. I'm going to come up and see you guys pretty quick here, and say hi to my friend Peter Mahoney. And tonight, I'm telling you what, you had a whole bunch of friends and peers that you're going to have to watch this, Chris, and look at all their comments because it's extraordinary.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really grateful. I'm really happy. Thank you.
All right. You did good. You made some big boom tonight. Give it up for Mr. Chris Carr one more time, will you? All right. Stay well. I love it. Did you guys hear that? I mean, that was absolutely an over-the-top interview. And before I say goodbye, I just want to bring my PowerPoint back up and just in case you missed it, kind of recap what he said in his interview, because it was nothing short of extraordinary. Let me see if I'll bring it up. It says his best practices were tagging a guest. You take their picture. The overwhelming majority are saying, "Can I have that?" He texted to them. They upload it on their social page. He says, "Tag me." And by the way, if I'm prospered by you sending that, any of your friends come and see me as a result of that, I'm going to express my gratitude by giving you 25 off towards your next visit, 25%, as well as any referral. I think that's why the guy's running at 225 referrals this year. So I'll tell you, 22 years old and at $75,000 a year, it's nothing short of extraordinary. So I hope you got it. And we're going to do another one this week, Thursday. I'm going to still do my Thursday night. I wanted to do Chris tonight because sometimes it gets difficult for him to be available on Thursday night. And Hal in Canada, Nova Scotia is like 2 hours ahead of us. So I'm going to say good night on behalf of that. But I'm also going to, I want you to know, I'm bringing on somebody, Amy Hale, out of LaBelle Salon and Beauty Lounge, Waco, Texas, this Thursday night. You are absolutely going to want to watch this interview because single mom, struggled, found LaBella Salon and Spa, and I think she went from like $20,000 in 2015. I think she was independent stylist. Started working at LaBella, shot right up to $75,000 in 2016. I mean, think about that, $20,000 to $75,000, and she's trending to crack 100 this year. And her story is extraordinary. So I hope you do. I hope you join us tonight on Thursday night. I'm going to bring in my buddy, the Lone Ranger, and.